For what purpose does Mr. Tiffany seek recognition?
To move this, to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you. Early in your remarks, you commented about saying the pledge twice in a day, once down on the floor when business starts for the day of this August body, and then we would be saying it again. I don't really have a problem with repetitions like that. In fact, I think back to my days when I served on a town board, little town, 200 people up in northern Wisconsin, and occasionally we would have a town board meeting, but we'd also have like committee meetings, or we'd have other meetings, and we would say the pledge sometimes multiple times a day, sometimes 2 and 3 times, and it only took a brief time, and no one objected to that, and I don't see any reason why we would object to that, doing that now. In regards to the comments from the gentleman from New York about not being lectured, I really heard the gentleman from Utah's words in a much different way, in that he was speaking of his life experience, something that we have really celebrated since the Civil Rights Movement was so successful, culminating in the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And I think about
$40 million.
and I think about the story that he told. I did not hear that as a lecture. I really heard it as his personal story and journey here to this place, serving in the House of Representatives. I denounced what happened on January 6th, just as I denounced what happened this summer in places like my home state. We're in Madison, Wisconsin, a statue to a man who served in the Union Army to preserve the Union and to end slavery was torn down and thrown into the lake in Madison. I think we all need to denounce whenever we see this happen, regardless of what side of the political aisle we think people are coming from. And you speak of hearing or of seeing urine and feces in this Capitol. My colleague, who has just joined us here on the Judiciary Committee and joined the House of Representatives from Wisconsin, he can speak of that because it's 10 years ago. We're in February right now. 10 years ago, this month, that we saw a dramatic change in public policy in Wisconsin, and our Capitol was under siege for days. People were urinating in that Capitol and defacing probably the most beautiful state capitol in the United States of America. We saw that. I hope that you would also denounce that, or back at that time that you did denounce that. Because regardless of when it happens or who we perceive this is being precipitated by, we must denounce it every single time. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from Utah.
And I join in that. We've seen too much violence, death, pain, and as leaders, we need to make sure that no matter where it comes from, we denounce immediately and then take care of and deal with it. I shared something real quick with my colleagues last night I just want to share with you guys. My perspective comes from knowing my history.